So as we're getting back to squatting, sometimes we have some issues descending into the hole to fire back out. This can be if there's a little bit of apprehension going into the depth of the squat. You're kind of hitting the brakes as you're descending, kind of like a very precarious lowering. We can work some of those out with the non-weight bearing things, some of the posterior rocking, some of those other maneuvers. But if it's persisting into the weight bearing and all our ankle things have been cleared out, making sure we don't have a restriction there that's going to throw us off. Sometimes we actually have to prompt our hip flexors to kind of pull us into the bottom of the squat so that we can fire extensors to come back out. So if I'm lining up for my squat, and if I go into it kind of apprehensively, everything's going to tense up. Everything's going to be a little too high of a co-contraction, kind of a high threshold kind of thing. So everything's going to kind of tighten up and keep me from moving smoothly into the motion, and potentially perpetuate some impingement issues. So I want to feel like a nice strong pull into the bottom of the motion, and then firing out of the muscles that I want, or my glute, my ham, and quad. So as I descend into the motion, if I feel like I'm either feeling like a little pinch or a jam, or I feel like almost like a chattery, or almost like I feel like I'm just afraid to get into it, we can actually use our hip flexors and get an active pull into the bottom of the motion, and then use our extensors to fire back out. This is especially important for some of our spine sparing strategies. If we initiate the motion into our lower back is going to do the most of the motion getting out. If we initiate into the knees going forward, our knees are going to do most of the work coming out. So when I actually count my hip, we're going to flex, we're going to pull into the bottom of the squat, and then our extensors are going to do the work to come back out. I'm probably telling my body where I want the work to happen. So if we're going into that apprehensively or kind of shying a little more into lower back or knee, we're not getting a nice even distribution of force across all the different joints we're using. And that can lead to some areas of impingement, force concentration, and overuse. So when we're lining up into it, we can almost think of I want you to think of more using like your inner hip flexors through here to get that pull into that end range hip flexion, and then the drive out of the feet and out of the glute, more like glute ham complex as we come out of the hole. So we want to think an active pull into the bottom, then come back out. Sometimes we have to use a little bit of arm support. If we have a little bit of problem with the balance, sometimes the isometric helps. You've got some band versions of it also that we can help out with it. But this is one of the prompts that we can add in that's more of a habit training kind of thing. Not a huge strengthening effect with it, it's more of like a habit, smoothest movement type maneuver. So this is one of the other things we can put into our squat training to kind of improve the fluidity and the depth.